Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Morgan Dollar Mondays with Massabesic Gold and Silver. This week, we're going to be checking out the 1885 San Francisco Morgan Silver Dollar. But before we get into all that, I am Dean with Massabesic Gold and Silver. Thank you for checking out my channel today. It really makes me happy to see so many comments, so many likes, and so many views. You guys are great. So let's get right into this here. So this is an 1885 San Francisco. What's cool about that? Well, these are really fun. As you can see, this is an extremely fine grade, and we're going to get into that a little later on grading, but I want to just talk briefly here about the 1885 San Francisco dollar. Bowers writes how it fits into that medium scarce category, neither common nor rare. There's definitely enough of them around that are very reasonable in price, and you can easily own one in Mint State 63 or Mint State 64. However, once you get up to that Mint State 65, it gets a little harder. These are just really great coins. You can see here, this is graded by CACG. I'm just turning it here in the light. It has great patina. It's a really great coin overall. It's an intriguing coin, and we're going to get into all that as well. Most of these, according to Bowers, have some flatness at the center of the obverse and the center of the reverse, which is very similar to the New Orleans type coins. It's a little strange that that's happening, as he writes how, in contrast to most of the earlier dated San Francisco coins, which were all well struck, there are some excellent strikes that exist for the 1885S, but you'll absolutely need to be doing some searching there to find them. And as he writes, most of them all have attractive luster, which, again, that's pretty consistent with San Francisco. But just turning it here in the light, you can see how there is a lot of wear here. If this was in mint state, I would actually surmise here that it would have been a really nice strike. You can see the hair is got a lot of detail. I'm also trying to show you there's these lines that kind of trace the face of Liberty. And we're going to be looking at these in depth through this entire video because I'll be honest, I have no idea what these lines are. It looks like doubling at some angles. It looks like somebody traced the image of Liberty with like a knife or a pinhead or something. I don't know, like it just like a sharp edge of some kind. It's really strange because this coin gets a straight grade. So obviously the folks over at CACG do not see that as damage of any kind, but we're going to get into that. But getting back to this coin, overall, I think it has an excellent strike. You can see the wear in the coin. You can absolutely see the wear. And as we should, this is a extremely fine, or as some people like to say, extra fine. Either way is fine with me. I believe the A&A grading standard says extremely fine, but I don't think either one is correct over the other. Either way, but yes. So this is an extremely fine 40. So there is a lot of wear. You'll see that there's really no luster left in the fields. We're going to talk about that too. You can see there's a lot of marks, a lot of wear on the high points, which is pretty well consistent with an extremely fine coin. You're going to see a lot of handling. You're going to see that this coin came in contact with lots of other coins. I don't see any obvious signs of cleaning on this coin. Obviously, CACG agreed, but again, this doubling here or this scratch or tracing, it's very intriguing to me, and we're going to get into that, but I just wanted to look a little bit more at the surfaces of this coin up close without using the loop yet. I just want to get a feel for this coin for all of you, because this is really how with a coin like this, you want to look at many different angles of the surfaces to see if there are signs of cleaning. Obviously, in this case, this coin has been graded, so we are going to trust the professional graders on the grade. But if this was a coin that was raw, you'd want to look at it from different angles. I'm going to show you the CACG website because this is the actual coin. I like that they take photos of the coin. And when I checked the site, this is the images that came up, and I saw the doubling, on the neck and the chin and by the forehead. And I thought to myself, well, if this is like got some doubling, that's really cool. I do know with the S mint mark here on some of the 85 S's, I forget which VAM it is. I think it's VAM 6. Yeah, VAM 6 that actually has a repunched mint mark. So I thought, well, maybe this is something like that, some sort of minting error or something. So I purchased the coin. I got it for a reasonable price. I believe I paid $81 for this coin, which at auction, which really to me was nothing. I didn't have an 85S, so I thought this would be a great coin to add to the collection here at Massabesic Gold and Silver. I really like the patina as well on the reverse. You got some nice kind of toning here, and like little brown and golds. It just looks like a well circulated coin. It's just a piece of history, at least to me. It's just it's a great piece of history. This coin has definitely worked hard in the economy at some points in its in its lifetime. The reverse too, I'll show you in the pictures on here. Again, you can see the colors very easily. You can see the carbon spot on the eagle's wings. Like, this is what I like about CAC's website. It's similar to NGC in the sense that they take pictures or photos of all of their coins that they grade, at least new coins, and you can see them. And just like PCGS, you can pay a little extra, and they'll take that real close up of the coins. I do have some of those, and I will show those in later Morgan Hour Mondays. But again, just getting back to this coin overall, I really can appreciate the history that's here. And it's always nice to have a lower graded coin like this, because then you can kind of see the differences. So that's why I have this 86 New Orleans today, because this is an AU coin. So it's AU 53, and you're going to see some differences here. I think you're going to notice some differences right off. Now, there is some flatness on this in the center of the coin. I think a little of that is wear, but I think mostly it is of strike. As we get closer to this coin, we're going to see the wear points in the eagle's wings a little bit, the feathers, that is, all those high points a little bit on the talons of the eagle. You can see it also in Liberty's cap in places, and in the leaves as well. You'll see it just like in the with the 85S. And I like doing these comparison videos just so you get a sense. It's fine to have the A&A grading book with the pictures or drawings, but it's nice to have a great example like this in hand so you can really see the difference in luster. So just turning it here in the light, I hope you can see the differences. It's mostly in the fields. You can see on the 85S, there's really no luster left in the fields, while with the 86O, you can see that there's still just a hint of luster in the fields. Obviously in the legends, that's in the stars and in the letters, you're going to see all that protected luster on both coins. But again, on the AU coin, you can see a lot more luster around Liberty's head. Even in little places on Liberty's head itself, you can see a little luster left. And you just don't get that so much on the extremely fine. So right here, what I'm talking about, in the fields, you can see there's really nothing there. But then when I turn it here, you can see there's just a hint of luster left there. Now, when grading coins like this, it's not all about the luster. We're going to get into that as well, because sometimes you'll see that there's no luster really visible on an extremely fine coin, but that doesn't mean that it's not extremely fine. So a lot of it comes down to details on the coins too. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that today as well. I do want to mention about the 86O that it's very common in worn grades today, and exceedingly rare in those choice to gem mint state. Most of all of these 86Os were released in the 19th century or melted in 1918, and few were ever saved for numismatic purposes. So to have a really beautiful choice to gem mint state 86O, it's going to run you some money here. Similar to this 85S as we already talked about, but it's a little bit more attainable in those choice to gem grades. So yeah, these coins, just looking at them, comparing them, we can see the difference in luster. So I wanted to talk about that. Like I said before, You can see on the AU coin, you can see a little bit more luster in between the devices. And like right here, you can see a little bit more there. While when we're looking here, we're not seeing there's no real luster left in those spots, in those fields. Again, it is not all about luster when grading coins. Yes, you need to have good luster for something to be mint state or to be about uncirculated, or I should say decent luster. But with a extremely fine coin like this, sometimes you see the luster and sometimes you don't. Here are some examples from PCGS. You can see here in the legends, you can see the luster that's on this coin. This is the same graded coin. You can see no luster, nothing. Here's another one. You can see the luster in the legends, in the date, in everything. And then here's another one. You can't see any luster. All four of those are XF40, just like this, extremely fine 40. So it's not always about the luster. It's about the wear as well. All right. Finally, what I want to look at is these lines. I do not know what these are. Even in the eyeball of Liberty, it looks like somebody drew a triangle tracing the eyeball. Now, to me, at some angles, like I was saying before, they do seem raised in places, and then others they seem incused. So the only thing I could think of is these are lines that were made when the person at the mint was trying to clean the die, and maybe they were digging something out or trying to clean really harshly the die near Liberty's head. And they were almost like tracing along the edge. Now you got to think though, on the die itself, everything's sunken in. It's not up. So with the coin here, we can see that everything is raised because that's how it is in the coin with the strike. But you see with the die, it's the opposite. So these indents or these lines to me should be coming up off the surface. And at some angles, they do seem like that. But at most angles, it just seems like somebody almost dug into the coin. You can see here it traced the whole cap almost perfectly. I honestly don't know what these are. But clearly at CACG, they see this as not graffiti or damage of any kind. They see this as something that happened at the mint, hence the straight grade. If you know of anything that like that could happen, please let me know. And until we meet again, everybody, stay safe and continue to enjoy.